Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with the Salomon Aero Glide 3. One of my favorite shoes of the year. We're finally gonna do a 100-ish mile review on it, some high mileage testing, and I'm gonna tell you about the one major flaw that I've found with it. Now, if you are looking for a new daily trainer, or a max cushion gang shoe, or a race day shoe, or you're looking to find what might work for you and ask people, you gotta make sure you're on the Supwell app. It's my app. It's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there. And because it's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there, it's also a fantastic place to find deals. And I actually have seen one person post an Aero Glide 3, only one person, and that was because he got the wrong size. I haven't seen a lot of these because most people who buy them like them. But if you're looking for a new shoe, make sure you're on the app. It's also a great place to connect with the other hobby joggers out there. We have our community challenge going right now. It's too late to sign up, but you know what it's not too late for? To stack mileage, just because you want to stack mileage. So join the app, get in with us, and enjoy today's video. You want to come out? Out, please. Oh man, I just dropped Mason off. I was planning on going to the Greenway, but it is really coming down, and whenever it's raining like this, it's usually flooded over there, and it's been raining like this on and off for the past few days, so I don't know if that's the smartest idea. I was gonna test something new, but I might just have to swing by home and pick up a trusty old friend. Yeah, this is not really what I want to be running. We call this hero behavior, running in this.
I see you out there shining. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, so I ended up driving home here. I'm gonna go inside and grab the Aero Glide 3. I was kind of on the line about what to do, and I feel moderately sad that I decided to bail on my plan for the Greenway, but the thing is, if I drive over there, it's a 25-minute ride back home, and if it's flooded out, there's not really anywhere else to run. I almost quit running one time. It was actually the day Ira was born a few years ago. I did this 10-mile run over there at the Greenway, and it was pouring and flooded, so I couldn't run on the Greenway, and I ended up just doing loops around a random neighborhood. And then after that, I said, bro, I think I'm gonna quit running. I was just getting poured on, doing laps around this neighborhood that looked like something out of Inception mixed with the Stepford Wives mixed with Purgatory. So I'm going to avoid putting myself in that situation, and that's the whole thing about running in general and my philosophy. You should try to avoid putting yourself in a situation that might make you want to quit running. So I'm going to go inside, grab the Aero Glide 3, and then we can hit the gym, which, by the way, I learned is closing. They said they emailed me yesterday, and they said the last day of operations will be May 23rd. So that's sad. I'm going to have to find a new gym. That one is perfect because it's 5 minutes away, 24/7. I'll find something else. I was already looking on Google. There's another one that's just a bit down the road. I think it's Anytime Fitness. So I don't like change. I'm sure Anytime Fitness is fine, but Snap Fitness is the one that I go to. Why do you have to close on me? Gosh dang. And just run inside super quickly. Got him. Yeah, no surprise here. These are the other ones I was going to test this morning, the gravel version of these, but this will have to wait until another day. That's the thing. It's a fine balance with testing these wet weather shoes, or shoes that people might want to run the wet weather, because first of all, I don't like running in the rain all that much, but we have to find a day where I can go test them on the terrain but not going to get completely destroyed. So it's just been too rainy recently. I think the perfect conditions are, it's been raining just for that morning, but not for the past few days. But bonus here, we're going to get to do a high mileage review of the Aero Goat finally. So there's a silver lining in everything. I'll see you over there at the gym. All right, we are here. RIP Snap Fitness, bro. That's crazy. But yeah, we're about to run in the Salomon Aero Goat 3. Government name is Salomon Aero Glide 3, formerly known as the Random French Shoe. This thing is a complete banger. This is my favorite daily trainer right now. I also think this is one of the best daily trainers, if not the best daily trainer to release in the past 2 years. Yes, stamp that, put my name on it, put it in quotes. I will debate that with anybody. What makes this so good? It's all about the foam here. So you've heard me talk about this before. A shoe is only going to be good as its midsole and what technology is in that midsole. So with this, no gimmicks. You just have 100% of this Energy Evo foam, which is a beaded TPU. You're familiar with beaded TPU, well, probably from seeing me talk about this and hearing me talk about this, but also from the Saucony Triumph, the Adidas Ultra Boost. And TPU is one of the best, newest, most exciting compounds right now. So aside from Salomon using it in this beaded formulation here, we see Mizuno using it right now. We see, rumor on the street, word on the street, New Balance is going to be using it in the next Fresh Foam. I don't know if they're still going to call it Fresh Foam, probably, but in the new 1080, word on the street, got a little birdie who told us. And by the way, all your leaks, all your information about shoes, all your pictures on shoes that you have, if you work in the shoe industry, DM them to me. We're accepting whistleblowers, PIBA blowers. It's a safe haven for all the PIBA blowers out there. DM them to us on the Sup While Running account. We'll give you amnesty. We'll protect you. We'll put you in the PIBA protection program, and we'll throw up those pictures for all the hobby joggers to see. We got a really good leak on the New Balance Ellipse the other day. It looks like it could either be a Super Blast competitor or just a random stability shoe. I don't know, but it looks cool, and it was also bright green. So I don't think they would make a random stability shoe bright green. But if you have any info like that, slide it through the Supwell account. But yeah, TPU is back on the rise right now, especially what Salomon did with this thing. I think this is a super critical TPU as well. So not only does it have the beads, they've just made it fluffier, bouncier, and airier. Now, I have really not been able to find a flaw with this shoe other than maybe the toe box. Some people say that it fits too big. I usually just get my shoes in the normal 10.5 and everything is fine. And that's what I've had with this one. It just feels fine to me. Sometimes I can like more room. I actually have these 1080s on. You can't even see. Look at that, 1080 V13. Also one of the best daily trainers. These things are complete tanks. They're about 2 years old now, or a year and a half old. I put 300 running miles on, and now I just use them for casual use. So good. But what I was saying is I have them in a size 11. These are a size 10.5. I just get size 10.5 and everything unless for some reason I can't find it. So with this, I did get the 10.5. They fit well. I feel like with the sizing up and the sizing down, for the most part, brands design these shoes for the size of the foot that they want it to fit. That didn't really make sense. But for example, Adios Pro 4, everyone said size up, and I sized up to 11 and it fits super weird. And I've actually seen people who size down in this who are now selling them on the Supwell app. So I would just go true to size, enjoy the extra room, or wear a thicker sock. The thing with sizing up and sizing down, unless it's a serious problem, is it can just mess with the fit. Now, if you have a very narrow foot, that's the one case where I would go half a size down. But for everyone else, please don't go half a size down, because then you're not going to be happy. Again, I've told you, I've seen people selling these on the Supple app. So that is one of the things that people have identified as an issue. But the upper itself, really lightweight, nice and breathable. However, I have finally found one flaw on these after 100 miles, or about 100 miles. I guess we're at around 80 right now. I'll have to get all the Strava up to date, but I think it's around 80. Look at this. This is the one flaw I have found. Bang. The rubber. I was actually super surprised to see this. So I ran on this on the treadmill earlier this week, and you can see on the lateral heel side on the right here, we have rubbed down the rubber all the way to the bottom, and we're now chewing into the foam. And it's crazy because I don't put a lot of wear on my shoes anymore because I rotate through so many pairs with the testing. But this is one that I have just loved, so I've put a ton of miles on this. This and the Vomero have been my two go-to dailies this year. And we've actually rubbed through the rubber on the back on the right. And it's crazy because the left side is usually my higher wear area. I think I have some sort of a imbalance, or just I'm not symmetrical. And one of my friends, old-fashioned runner, he says, no human is symmetrical. And I thought that was really smart. Even if you look at elite runners and you look at the way that they carry their arms and the way that their shoulders are positioned, you'll find a lot of them aren't swinging their arms exactly symmetrically. So if you have an imbalance, or you notice you're not exactly symmetrical, for the most part, there's nothing to worry about, unless you're getting injured. That's the one thing to worry about. But look at this. Left side, which is typically my higher wear side, is not rubbed down all the way to the bottom, but the right side is. And I've actually put a lot of treadmill miles on this thing as well, because I took it to travel. I've come here a few times, so maybe 20 to 30 treadmill miles. But I found this super interesting. I do think the treadmill wears down more on this, and I noticed it after the treadmill. And the reason this is happening too is because the treadmill, the belt is moving, and it's just a different type of running experience versus the roads. But look at that, man. That is worn all the way down. So, and look, you can even see the treadmill dust on the back here. I haven't wiped it down. That all this black that's flecked up here, that is from the weird dirt of the treadmill. So that is the really one flaw I have found after 100 something miles, or 80 something miles. It'll be about 100 at the end of the day. I'll have to try to do some forensic analysis to find all the missing runs, because here's the thing. If you look at my Strava and my shoe tracking, you'll see the Brooks Go 16, which for some reason is my default shoe. It says I've run 160 miles on that. Meanwhile, I've run in that in reality one time for 10 miles. So I'm not the best with the shoe tracking. And the thing is, I like to keep it a surprise. I don't like to upload what shoe I ran in right away, because then it ruins the mystique of the videos. So that's why I don't tag the shoes right away, and then I end up forgetting, and then I'm in this situation today where I'm saying, man, I want to do a 100-mile review. I think I've run 100 miles in it, but my Strava says 67. So then I have to think in my mind, okay, when was the last time I ran the shoe? Oh, I remember I took it to New York and I ran on the treadmill a few weeks ago. So then I go find that run, and there were no shoe tag to it. So then I tag the Aero Goat to it. So we'll see. I think I can find a few more runs in there that I missed to get it up to 100. But regardless, it doesn't matter how many miles are on this shoe. I've had it for a few months. I've used it as a normal daily trainer, and you can see it's worn through. And one of the reasons I actually don't do a lot of the 100-mile reviews anymore is because it's just an arbitrary number. So instead of forcing myself to get 100 miles on a shoe I don't like, I'll run in it until I have my final thoughts or full analysis on it, and then that will be the review. With this, I've done a few videos on it, but this is what's making me want to revisit it and do another spotlight, because that is notable right there. So durability, depending on your foot strike too, could be, I don't know. And then let's look at the front. So I don't wear as hard down on the front, and the rubber is in really good shape. So this is a case where, man, your mileage is likely going to vary in terms of how much wear and tear you see on these, on the front, on the back. But I just thought that was notable, because I haven't had this happen in a shoe in a long time, maybe since these 1080s that I'm wearing right now. But we got to get some mileage in today. It's not even raining anymore. But here's the thing, the Greenway is probably flooded. and I had this whole nice morning planned. I was going to go to the smoothie shop after and yada, yada, yada. But instead, we're going to go on the treadmill. You know what Charlie sent me the other day, by the way? She sent me this article from, I think it was the New York Times. And it was talking about how the treadmill was actually created as a torture device. A prison labor torture device in the 19th century. So, believe it or not, that's crazy. I don't think it's a torture device. I actually really like the treadmill. I'm a big treadmill fan. I am pro treadmill, especially when it's wet outside. Cheers, mate. Should be illegal to close down my favorite gym. What the heck? Also, every time I come here, this is the surprising thing, there's always people here. Even if I'm coming here at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., there are people here. And then I was here the other day around lunchtime, and it was packed with the Mint Hill seniors getting in their walking mileage. So, I don't know, man. If my friend at the front desk is here when I finish my run, I'll have to ask her what's going on with that. Because, I mean, yeah, it's people are here right now putting in work. I don't know. Probably Barefoot Mafia shutting it down. I'm gonna replace it with a rock climbing gym. Disrespectful. Alright, let's get these things laced up. By the way, drip for today. I'm going Run Some Dang Hills shirt. Can you see that? Everyone who got theirs should be getting there in the next week or so. And then shorts. These are the new Supple shorts coming for the summer drop. I absolutely love these things. Barrett went crazy with them. So we got digital camo with all these badges all over them. So we got a hobby jogger badge, stack mileage, 24/7 365. I'm not going to give it all away because there's a lot of cool stuff packed on here, but these are one of my favorite new pieces of any brand, of any of the swag, of anything that we've ever created. So fire. And also we have pockets here. So they're unlined with pockets, 6 inches, which makes them better for me as a taller person. Can you see? So I think if you're a bigger guy like I am, you'll enjoy these for bopping around town. And that was the whole thing with these shorts. We wanted to make something that you could actually wear outside of just running, because a lot of the shorts, the CLAs and the other brands that I've tested, they're just too short. So the 6-inch with the pockets make these a banger for dad drip. And then what am I doing with the socks? You already know, gotta stay strapped with the features. All right, I'm gonna lace these up outside, go find an open treadmill, and of course I got my mileage water. And look at that, it's back to pouring outside. Yeah, I do not mess with this. We made the right call. Made the right call for sure. So in terms of what I like about the Aero Glide 3, it's just a nice blend of comfort and bounce. It's not a super aggressive feeling shoe. When I put it on, it just feels welcoming. It's not super soft either on step in, and some people have actually said this feels firm, but to me it just feels reliable, supportive, nice cushion. And that's the thing, you get a lot of stack here. We'll throw it in the stack rater later, see where it is now after nearly 100 miles, but you get a lot of stack underfoot without it feeling too heavy and clunky. It is really lightweight. So it has the comfort of something like these shoes here, the 1080s, at about 10 to 15% lighter with more bounce. It's a perfect daily trainer, it really is. Alright, so plan for this morning, mileage. I'm just gonna ride it out. I don't even know. I just finished out 14 on the T-mill. It was not torturous at all. It was actually quite pleasant. And the thing is, I think I accidentally had it set to road running. So it says 015, 1 hour, 54 minutes, 58 seconds. I'll have to fix that. And the crazy thing is, you know how I was talking about our Instagram and the New Balance ellipse leak that we put up? While I was on the treadmill, look at this. It's honestly one of those things where I just can't believe it sometimes. So New Balance filed a complaint against us, a trademark infringement complaint. A third party reported that our offer of goods and or promotion of the sale of goods infringes on their trademark rights, which is just completely bogus because we weren't offering goods nor were we promoting the sale of goods. We were reporting on publicly available information or information that should be publicly available. It's a leak. It should be protected under something called the First Amendment. But man, these are the things sometimes where I just wonder, is it worth fighting these fights over running shoes, man? And we got it. So warning from Instagram that if we do it again, we're going to get our account removed for posting a leak of a shoe. They don't own that content. It's a leak. That's the whole thing. It should be publicly available. And this is what I always think about. Is it worth fighting these fights over gosh dang running shoes? Is my time more valuably spent somewhere else? And man, with things like this, right, these Aero Goat 3s, so I've decided now to start buying all the shoes myself because exactly things like this. I don't want to be part of these brands' propaganda machine. So I went out and bought the Aero Glide 3 gravel myself, even though the Salomon people reached out to me and asked if I wanted it. And it's, I don't know, I just think, I don't know if the majority of people care. I don't think they do. It's, for example, this ASICS event, right? They fly everybody out there, and it's not like we have a cohort of people who aren't going to watch the content because they got flown out there by ASICS. So if this venture does not succeed, or if I decide to wind it down, it'll be because of that. It just, some days it feels like I just cannot compete with this business if I don't play the game their way, which is be part of the propaganda machine, get the shoes sent to me. I don't know, man. And then it just gets me fired up. But again, do I want to go into a fight over a picture of a Max Cushion Gang shoe? Probably not. I have a job. I have a wife and kids. So these are the things that are just frustrating sometimes, man. And it makes me feel, am I just too idealistic for this, right? Because I do think if there's a leak of a shoe, the people should see it. But yeah, the Aero Goat 3, these are still doing goat activities. We went 14 miles with them. I think I'm going to leave it on. I don't know if I can put my 1080s on after that. And here's the thing. Do I just not review New Balance shoes anymore because they tried to get my Instagram account deleted? Probably not. And then people will say I'm biased. And now they're going to say I'm biased. So some days it just feels like it's just hard to compete. And I really don't want this to be a complaining. I love a lot of aspects of this. I love that I get to test all the shoes. But even with things like the $500 shoe yesterday, I don't know. Is that what we should be doing? Is that what we should be testing? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I feel like something's got to change around here, though. All right, refuel time. So good news on the gym. I just talked to my friend Mary, who runs the front desk, and she said what I thought. This is what I had hoped. They're rebranding. The Snap people either sold the rights or something to this new guy. I think his name might be Joe, and he's changing it into a Core Fitness, which she said is going to be way nicer. So I'll hold out for that. It should be opening in the summer. I guess it's going to be more expensive, but the location is just perfect for me. It's also funny because I don't necessarily need it to be nice. I just need a treadmill and for it to be close, but it's going to be 24/7 in the same location, so I'll hold out for that. And she said he did offer to bring her on board and keep her as the front desk staff because I asked. I said, "You coming with the new place?" And she said, "No, she's moving to the beach." And that sounds super nice. Can't wait till I can move to the beach. Trademark that. Here's the thing, you can't trademark the mileage.
Pick up what you want. Catch me going, go. Smashing on the room.
Man, I really need to reevaluate this business model. I pay money to buy these brand shoes and promote them, and then they take legal action against me. Like I'm losing. What's up, buddy? Oh, it's fire. It's like Domino's. Man, there's nothing to turn around a tough day like some lunch pizza. Look at that. I think this is Trader Joe's crust, Trader Joe's vegan chorizo, some broccoli. It's fire, thank you. Looks super good. Charlie thinks I should write an op-ed on why independent journalism is important in the running space. It's honestly a good idea, but it'll be tough to find an outlet to publish it, because all those outlets who test shoes get the shoes sent to them for free as well. Coffee. So this is my coffee for the day, and this is the stuff that just puts a smile on my face and makes all the nonsense I've been talking about today worth it. So these guys from the UK, they're called Funked Coffee, and my friend here has been watching the channel, and he sometimes will send me just coffee beans. And look at this, we got 3, bang, that's crazy, 3 bags of coffee from Funked. I think he sent these 2 last time, a few months ago, the strawberry or something similar to it, but this looks fire, man. Anaerobic honey process from Colombia. This is one of my favorite processes. I like natural process. Ethiopian natural is good, and then the Colombia anaerobic honey, that always hits. Colombia peach juice process. So look at that, double fermentation with the fresh peach juice. And then this is pink bourbon, semi-washed with anaerobic fermentation, collaboration with Mod Coffee. I guess these are all collaborations with Mod Coffees, but shout out to Funked. And look at this. He even wrote a handwritten note with the slug for the Slug Gang. Shout out to Slug Gang. Shout out to my guy Miller putting in work. So if you're in the UK and you want some good coffee, shout out to Funk Coffee. He first sent me some bags when the channel was probably, I don't know, a lot smaller than it is now. So he's a real one. I actually recommended him the 860 a while back, and he's putting miles in that. And look at that. Roasted on April 22nd. That means these are going to be perfect. I'm going to go with I think the strawberry wine anaerobic honey is speaking to me today, so I'm going to go with this one. You can't stop us. Independent testing and good coffee. I'm going to rail some caffeine and bang out a strongly worded opinion piece on why we need to stand on business and not let the business stand on us. We got people out here getting flown out to Japan, getting flown out to London, trying to review shoes. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't know, man. So the coffee is all brewed up. Charles was trying to get the kids out of here, so I couldn't do the full sniff test and everything. I haven't even sniffed it once. So a little smell test on the Funked strawberry wine coffee. Dude, that is fire. It has that classic. Oh, and I have something weird in here. That classic anaerobic honey smell. Extremely fruity. It's like strawberry shortcake, which we just had a few weeks ago. All right, one sip. Everybody knows the rules. It needs to cool a bit so the flavors can pop more, but the berries are just bursting on that. This is fire. Ooh, and the finish, that's some black raspberry on the finish. So a great nose with the bright red fruits. You get that medium fruity body, and then it just thick and juicy on the finish. Super good. That's a banger. Run number 2. That pizza actually hit pretty nicely. Ooh. And it's warm today. But man, another beautiful blue sky day out in Mint Hill. And I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And I say this a lot with my training, with life, with the business. But particularly today with the business, I am just trying to figure it out as I go. Figure out what to test, figure out how to test them, figure out the business model, figure out if the independent shoe testing is worth it. And I think it's worth it. I think it's important for people to have a place they can come that's a reliable, trusted, independent source, regardless of whether it's shoes or appliances or no matter what. That's why things like the wire cutter are so successful, because they do independent testing, and a bunch of others too, Consumer Reports, right? So I think the cynical way to look at it is what I was saying earlier, is it's just running shoes, but no, it doesn't matter what it is. I really believe there is something to having independent sources to test things and give people information that is not skewed by the big brands. And there's no conspiracy here, but the brands do have a motive to sell their shoes. And if they're flying people out and paying them to do different things, then those people are reviewing the shoes. It just doesn't quite add up for me. And that's the whole thesis of this channel right now, that people deserve to have a place that is not influenced by those things. And I actually have accepted free shoes in the past, but this year, and I think the last 2-3 months, is really where I've made the switch to 100% buying everything. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of obstacles to doing it this way. I'm not going to get invited to the industry events, right, if I'm just doing my own path, but it's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. But I did just want to say to everyone who watches and buys the merch and buys the stuff through the Running Warehouse links, which, by the way, is how we make money, having the affiliate program with Running Warehouse where I can be independent, tell you which shoes I like, and then you buy the shoes through my link. That does help me. So it's not like I'm this 100% nonprofit where I'm not making money. I need to figure out a way to make money out of this. But having the affiliate program helps, and then when you guys buy the merch, that helps. All those things really do help. So if you like the independent testing and trying to be a place that is not swayed by the brands, that doesn't take money from the brands, that is going to put out the leaks, even if it's threatening my account, I just believe that people should have the information. If you also believe that, then doing those things really helps. So thank you to everyone who has been supporting. It means a lot. Yeah, Big Shoe can't own us. The only person I'm influenced by is Small Coffee. Shout out to Miller from Funked. I'm a shill for good coffee. All right, let's get this mileage in. This is just, I don't even know what this is anymore. Let's go. I just love it. 4-mile recovery run in the books. Nice to get out here on a gorgeous late spring day. I actually think this is the official start or the unofficial start of summer. And look at that, exactly 8 flat pace, 33 minutes, 43 seconds. I always say that spring starts on Valentine's Day. And guess what? You know what today is? Look at this. Can you see that? It's hard to see. Today is May 14th. Exactly 3 months on from Valentine's Day. And it's about 84 American right now, and it's poetic because it was raining in the morning, and now we have these gorgeous, almost clear blue skies with some beaded TPU clouds. So I'm calling it. This is summer right here. This is officially the start of summer. Also, when I was driving to school today, I was noticing, man, there's no more trees that have that light green that are just budding. This is peak. Everything has exploded, and it's at the stage where I can see some stuff is going to start getting yellow and even turning. So it is summer. This is summer in the Carolinas. Valentine's Day is the start of spring. May 14th is the start of summer. Would you look at that? And this is what I was thinking about out there. If you're here, well, first of all, again, I really appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who connects with what we do on the channel and also at Supwell in general, on the Instagram, on the app, on the website, which we're working on building up now that Meredith is on board. We also are cooking up some other stuff. But if you're here, I don't need to convince you of the value of independent shoe testing and the philosophy that I have. It's everybody else that needs the convincing. So this is my question for you. If you are here and you see the value in what we do at Supwell, how would you explain the value to other people? What is the benefit you see in independent shoe testing? Why is what I would call journalism, or at least not accepting in-kind meaning things that aren't money, like trips, why is not accepting stuff from the brands, especially money, getting paid to do events with these brands, why is that important in 2025? If you're here, you clearly do see some value in it. So how would you explain the importance of it to other people? Why should people care about what we do? And it's not just me. There's people like Ben Parks who are doing it too at a much bigger scale. He's been really successful with this. So it shows that, and in other industries, right, like the wire cutter, and I'm not remembering everybody else who's independent does the independent testing, but things like NerdWallet too. I used to work at NerdWallet and Credit Karma and other smaller financial product brands who did independent testing as well and had the affiliate-based revenue model because, again, you got to make money somehow. But yeah, why is it important? What's the value you see in it? We're going to keep it pushing, though. We are 18 miles up on the day. That's 50 miles on the week. Aero Glide 3, still an absolute banger with the one major flaw. Owning a small business is hard. It's a lot of work. I don't recommend it. Or maybe I do. But shout out to all my fellow small business owners out there running things, trying to grow. We've got the Salomon Aero Glide 3. Yeah, as you can see here, this is the one area I've identified after, what is it now, 95 miles officially that we've tracked on Strava. I do think there's a few runs there that I missed, so we could call it a 95-mile review or a 100-ish mile review, but essentially a flawless daily trainer up to this point. Maybe my favorite daily trainer of the past 2 years. The only shoe that I would put above this is the Mag Max. That's at 200 miles. The difference is this is so much lighter and easier to turn over, and I don't have to feel that I'm putting as much into that shoe to get the benefit. because of the lightweight, this is just an easier shoe to run in. You know what's funny I was thinking about out there? I actually got this shoe for free. This is one of the last shoes that I got for free. It was from Salomon's PR people. They reached out about, I don't know, whenever, earlier this year, and I got this for free. This and the Topo Phantom 4 and the Clifton and the Cielo 2.0. I think those are the only shoes that I accepted this year. And I also just feel bad sometimes because, like with the Cielo, for example, I got it for free, and then I thought it was really mid. I didn't like it at all for fast running, so then I'm just trashing it all over Instagram and YouTube, and I feel bad. I feel guilty. So not accepting the shoes is just easier because then I don't have to feel bad about giving a bad review. I can just give a bad review without a heavy conscience. Yeah, last thing I'll say on this, I really do think it's important to have independent testing, and I know a lot of people are here just for the jokes or because you like seeing the process and the work that goes into the channel, just having this daily rhythm and having a reliable post go up every night or every morning. Some days it's later than others, but I try to shoot to have it go up at 11:30 p.m. to be reliable for you all, for the people who do enjoy it and who look forward to it. A lot of my blokes out there in the UK tell me they watch the videos with their morning coffee, which is awesome. So I know a lot of you are here just for the vibes. Some people are here for the jokes, for the motivation. Other people are here just to hear what I have to say on the shoe, and it doesn't really matter where it comes from. But I do think there is something to being a source when it does come to the shoe testing, because the shoe testing is just one of the things we do on this channel. There's the shoe testing, there's the training, and it's funny because the training, I don't actually highlight it as much anymore because it's not what people are interested in from this channel, at least the front door, right? So you walk into a house, there's a Victorian house, would you look at that? Spent so much money on shoes. The UPS brother gives me a special wave and everything. Yeah, you have different types of houses, and the thing that brings people into this channel, the draw, is of course the shoes. And when I highlight the training, it's just not what people want to see as much. But I do think as a business for Supwell, there is a place in what we're doing. So I'm gonna fight to defend the right and to put something out there that I believe in. For a long time, even Charlie wanted me to accept the free shoes, and some people that I work with want to go on the trips. That's not what I'm in it for. I'm not in it for the trips. I'm not in it for the shoes. And I think a lot of it has to do with how I was raised in my education and my value system, but I'm here to provide a service. And again, I know I'm preaching in the choir right now, because if you're here, if you've sat through my inner monologue, which has now come out today for 15 to 20 minutes of this video, you believe in what I believe. But I think there's a place for what we do here, and I'm okay with not being the best friend of the brands. The other thing is I don't want to be the enemy of the brands. These brands aren't my enemy. I highlight the shoes and I review them. But what I have come to learn through different interactions, I had a brand file a copyright complaint against me when I did a leak shoe analysis 2 years ago when I had under 2,000 subscribers. I had a running shoe brand at the running event in 2023 walk up to me and take a shoe out of my hand and tell me I wasn't on the list and walk away. They didn't ask me who I was. They didn't ask if I wanted to be on the list or tell me how I could get on the list. They just walked away. I've had a journalist, someone who calls themselves a journalist, laugh at me when I asked her what type of journalist she was and said running. And then see that person who calls himself a running journalist get flown all around the world by these different shoe brands. So these brands are my enemy and the industry isn't my enemy, but I also think we do need a reliable source that is independent, and it doesn't matter if it's running shoes or politics or business. There needs to be a source of information. That's how I was raised. That's what I believe. I was a political science major. Call me idealistic if you want, but I believe in the First Amendment and the right for us to have people talk about products, policies, business practices without the threat of something being taken away or without the threat of that access being taken away. So this is why it fires me up when we post a leak and they try to get our account taken down. But if there's one thing that you should know about me at this point is that you can't gosh dang stop me. We're going to keep going. So shout out to everyone out there putting in the work. These brands aren't my enemy, and I've said this earlier, right? I give them tons of free promo and publicity, but we're going to keep going how we're going, and I'm going to figure it out. If it doesn't work with the independent testing and running this like a journalistic outlet, then it doesn't work. But guess what? We're moving, we're growing. The YouTube channel is what it is. It actually hasn't grown all that much. We have the Supwell app. We have the Instagram, which they're not going to get deleted. We've got a lot of stuff going on, so I appreciate you all. All right. Aero Glide 3. Let me just close it out here with some thoughts. I'm going to continue running in this, but what makes this such a special shoe is the combination of bounce and protection in that lightweight package. It is very similar to how I described the Evo Pro yesterday, Pro Evo 2. My guy ML Hunt said I need to write it out on paper. Pro Evo. It's not Evo Pro. I think part of the issue is that there's the Evo SL, and everyone calls it the Evo SL, even though it's technically Adi Zero Evo SL. So I say Evo Pro, but no, it is Adios Pro Evo. What I was saying with the Pro Evo, the $500 race shoe in both the OG and the V2, what made it so good was not that it provided anything crazy that you can't get in the $250 shoe or the $300 shoe. It's just that it works. It's reliable. It has the bounce, it has the comfort, it has the stack, the stability, the protection, the smooth ride in such a lightweight package. Hey. It's also days like today where I'm just so thankful for Charlie and my family. Shout out Charlie putting in work, man. She literally made me that pizza because she knew I was upset. So if you have a spouse or a parent who goes the extra mile for you, or a friend, make sure to thank them and say you love them. And there's so many times where it's just the little things, right? It's not always making somebody a pizza, but just listening, sending a text, sharing an article to know that you're interested. So shout out to all the partners out there supporting everybody too. Be very similar to the Evo I was saying yesterday, with everything coming together in a way that just works. And since I've reviewed this in the very beginning, I said it combines a lot of the elements of shoes I've liked in the past. 1080, Triumph, and I would even throw Mag Max in there when we're thinking about the protection and bounce. So the bounce of something like the Mag Max, the versatility of a Saucony Triumph and a very similar foam feel as the Saucony Triumph, and then the comfort of a 1080. It is not as soft and squishy as the 1080, and my guy D Nice, Derek Nicholson from Florida, putting in the work. He actually posted on the app today. He's been trying this, and he said it could be clunkier for him at slower paces. At times, I've actually felt that as well, and that is the weakness of the shoe. Slightly similar to the Mag Max, where if I'm doing true recovery, today was slower end of my daily miles, and I realized my daily pace has actually slowed down in the past month or two because of the style of training I'm doing. So I can now run an aerobic run at an 8-minute pace, which is just, it's kind of sad, but hey, we have to take steps back in some areas to grow in others, and that's just one of the trade-offs with my training system right now. But at that 8 flat pace or 750 pace, it's still solid, but it is best. It feels in its zone of genius down at 730, 720. But the comfort of a 1080, the versatility and range of something like the Saucony Triumph. Again, we went 14 miles this morning, and at the end of the run, I wanted to just keep going. If I had time, if I didn't have meetings, I could have run 20 in this. I think that was actually the longest run I did, 14 miles, and we did 18 double day today. I don't know if I've done more than that, but for all the testing I've done, it's just been great. I never feel that I'm stretching it to its limits or maxing out its capability. For example, think of a shoe like the Nike Streak Fly. all the way on the other end of the spectrum. A racing shoe, this is a training shoe. A lower to the ground shoe, this is a max cushion shoe. Right? It's almost half the weight of this. But with the Streak Fly, once I got up to 6 miles, so I did a 3x1 mile workout in that with a few miles cool down, and I just felt that I was maxing out the capability of it once I got up to that point. It just didn't feel great underfoot. It wasn't great for my form at those relaxed paces. It felt weird. The geometry just puts you up on your toes, and it doesn't feel good for jogging. Same thing with the Fast Start 3. Anytime I'm not running fast, it doesn't feel good. And then you have shoes like the Puma Mag Max where I'm running slower and it doesn't feel good as well, or even the 1080. Once I got past 90 minutes in that shoe, it didn't feel great. But with this, there is no type of run that I've thrown at this that it cannot handle. It's just really a special shoe. It eats up the miles, and even if it is slightly not optimized for the slower recovery work, it still handles that decently well. And that's the thing with any shoe. There's going to be trade-offs. With the $500 shoe, there's still trade-offs. With this shoe, even though it's the best daily trainer, there's trade-offs. And that's the thing. It still is a daily trainer. And if we compare it to a lot of the shoes out there, I don't know, not a lot of the daily trainers feel that great at the slower paces. Something like the Nike Vomero 18, that's been the best one I've tried this year. That feels really good at those slow paces. Same thing with the Saucony Endorphin Trainer, but those shoes are bigger and bulkier with the Vomero 18. Once I get past an hour, I'm maxing out that capability. Again, that's a shoe where I max out the capability. Saucony Endorphin Trainer, that doesn't feel as light as this. That one is way more of a just throw it on for those relaxed long runs. This is a true do-it-all champion. I wonder what they're teaching the kids in the North Carolina public schools these days. Are they teaching them about the First Amendment and the freedom of speech? Probably sound crazy to some people out there. Why are you talking about the First Amendment? He's been too deep on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook. Yeah, this has handled everything beautifully. I can highly recommend this if you're looking for a daily shoe. This is really the one area a concern. We talked about it earlier, but you can see it's only on the right shoe here. So I'd actually be curious to hear, for those of you out there, because I know a lot of people have picked this up now, how has this held up for you past 100 miles if you've gotten it past? Is it just me and my terrible form? That's a Braun ability van, reminding us all of our mortality and the inevitable place we may end up. Even if it's not a wheelchair, it's what comes after the wheelchair. It's coming for us. We will all go like the outsole on the Aero Glide 3. One day, it's true. How do yours look at 100 miles, at 50 miles? I've had shoes that look like this at 100 miles. I've had shoes that don't even look like this at 300 miles. If you compare it to the most durable shoes out there, the Asics of the world, man, Asics has been killing it with the durability, both the Nova Blast and the Super Blast. Those outsoles look untouched. Same thing with the Mag Max that barely had any wear. So on my less worn down side, it's fine, but on here, it is worn down. It's not really going to affect the quality of the ride, but the thing is, this indicates that with my form, there definitely is something weird going on just on that right side. And I think it's particularly noticeable on the slower, oh gosh, there's flies in my shirt. People always ask whenever I wear a button down, by the way, where they're from. J. Crew or J. Crew Factory, all my button downs. But yeah, it's not really going to affect the quality of the ride that much. It just could be something going on with my form, and if something starts feeling weird and an injury popped up, then I would be concerned, but I don't know. It doesn't really concern me. It only really happens at slower miles. So that is one thing to note. Durability on the rubber for some people might not be the best. I am a notorious heel scuffer at those relaxed paces though, so look at that. That's what we're seeing here on the first 100-mile review we've done in a while, or I guess a 95-mile review. We can't officially call it a 100-mile review because I didn't appropriately track my mileage. All right, I think that's all I have today. Yeah, my favorite shoe right now, maybe even top 5 training shoe. That'll be a good list, right? My top 5 daily trainers of all time. This has got to be on the list. I'm gonna continue stacking miles on this, and I'm really excited to test the gravel version, which I bought. I have up there, and I was gonna run in today, but I chickened out because I didn't want to run in the rain. And also, I thought the greenway was gonna be flooded, which is just not a fun experience because then you go out there and there's nowhere else to run. So, Aero Goat 3 after 100 miles. Big thumbs up, massive thumbs up. It works well for a lot of people, works for a lot of paces, a lot of foot strikes. So the other last thing I was gonna say was that I have done some faster miles in it, so down to 620 and 630, and it still feels really good. Still feels really good for strides. I just haven't been training like that recently in this shoe. Anytime I'm running faster, I'm going carbon plated. But this week, man, I'm just recovering. I'm not doing any faster workouts until maybe next Wednesday, because I need some true relaxed miles to let the body convalesce before the next burner. All right, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, answer the question that I was talking about earlier about the why independent shoe testing is important, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe you think it is possible to cover the brands and also get flown to Japan. Cover the brands, flown to Japan. Yeah, let me know. All right, I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.